On today's show, we will talk about forgiveness. Then later, we will have Halley Parson join us to discuss her story. The other morning, I went to turn the water on in the shower, and before I could, I look around, and there's a rubber duck, a squirt gun, a bunch of balls from a ball pit. You get the picture. Problem is here, I don't have little kids. My bathtub might have even had remnants of last night's supper laying in the bottom, and I thought, what a mess. And then I stopped and smiled. That mess was made by my granddaughter. She came to my house, destroyed more than one room, and made a mess in my shower. But you know what? It was perfectly imperfect. Seems that happens a lot at my house. My adult kids come over and they are a wrecking crew. Why? Because this is their home. It's the house they grew up in and the house they will always be comfortable in. But hey, they're always welcome, even if it means I have to run behind them, putting the milk away, loading all their dishes in the dishwasher, putting all the toys away. Again, perfectly imperfect. I think when people grow up in the church, it doesn't always mean that literally of being in the church since you were a kid. The moment you get saved, you begin that spiritual journey of growing up in the church. And for some reason, when people go through tough times, they get this idea that they can't come to the house they grew up in. Oftentimes, they just withdraw. Why do we do that? God welcomes us to come to his house, bring our messiness, and he is always willing to clean it up. Just like I welcome the mess makers of my family to my house, he does the same, only he doesn't complain about it quite the way I do. He loves having us over and dealing with our messiness. He loves cleaning us up and sending us out the door clean, whole, and shiny over and over again. Don't let the circumstances of your life pull you from his house. It is exactly where you need to be, and the perfect God will be waiting to make your perfectly imperfect mess clean again, and he eagerly waits for you to come back and mess it all up again. And when we come back, just three ladies with big opinions, always backed by a biblical standpoint. So hey, let's talk about it.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, if you can dream it, we can create it. They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Today we are going to talk about a tough subject, I feel, because it is hard, and it's about forgiveness. We've talked about grace and mercy before, and I feel like that kind of is like the other part of the trio there. They kind of all go together.
Yeah, it was funny. I went through the list of topics that we have done, and I was shocked.
That we haven't done forgiveness.
Yeah.
When you sent that, I was like, have we not done that?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's important. So yeah, let's hit that. And
It's hard.
it is.
It is difficult.
It is hard. I think we get comfortable in holding our grudges. They become what we are comfortable with. And to give those up, sometimes we feel like we're giving up something that we've almost treasured.
And for me, like, I almost feel like it's a right. I have every right.
Yes. Oh, we do frequently.
I do, yes, but I know now that forgiveness, and it sounds cliche because we've said it all our life, forgiveness is more for you than the other,
Yeah.
but it is so true. The other person may never forgive you. That's not what it's about. It's about your own heart. Your own heart has to be healed. You know that saying, fester, 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 rot, rot, rot. And that's what it will do.
And a lot of the times, I've seen where the other person doesn't even know, or
Doesn't even know. That's what I was going to say. Has no clue
they're living their
Yes.
life to the fullest,
Yes.
and you're still holding on to something.
Right.
because of what they did, and they have no clue.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like it's a journey. I feel like some forgiveness can be like that, and some takes a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Depending on
Yeah.
what it was and who it was.
There's that thing, forgive and forget, but it's okay to forgive and proceed with caution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Forgive and proceed with caution.
Some
I do believe that is
Things
good.
deserve to be to proceed with caution.
Especially if it was something that's been done over and over
Right.
again to you and they're not changing. Yeah, you have to proceed with caution with that person. And I think that's totally okay.
That's good.
I have a family member, I will not say, just in case, protect myself, but I love her, but I will proceed with caution. I have been bit way too many times, and I will proceed with caution. But do I love her? Yes. Yes, I do.
So under what circumstances do you think we need to tell the person? You know, how do you know if the person has no clue? How do you know if you need to actually talk about it with them and say, listen, I've been holding this and this is not right, and I'm sorry I've been holding it, but I forgive you for what you've done. How do we know when that
Right, because
is
that
necessary?
person may not even think they did anything.
Right.
Well, okay. You
I
know?
think it depends on you a lot as, okay, is this going to help me to move forward and to heal the relationship? If it's not something that's going to help either individual, then maybe it is something that you just heal on your own. But if it's something that needs to be done to heal the relationship, then that's where I would think that you need to take that step to talk to the person.
And a lot of times I feel like, at least for myself, I get maybe a little bit cocky, a little high and mighty, and think, I'm going to let Teresa know that she hurt me, and I will tell her what she's done and that I have forgiven her. Who's that benefiting?
Right.
That's only making me feel justified.
Right. What's the heart behind it?
What is the
Right.
heart behind it? That's
But
right.
see-
Have I prayed about it?
Right.
And what has God given me peace about?
Most times I forgive and I don't say any, I bury it.
Yes.
I just bury it. I don't like confrontation a whole lot, and you have to weigh. If I open up this Pandora's box here, what's
Right.
going to happen?
And we do have to be careful with the burying it part too, because if they do something again and you bury it, and they do something
Yep.
again and you bury it, then there's going to be a time when you're just going to blow. So I think on both ends we have to be careful. It's a heart. It goes back to the heart. Like, what is your heart behind it? Do you want to restore the relationship? Do you want it to be on a more firm foundation instead of rocky? You know, so it's all of those things. What do you want out of it? And I think the prayer thing is a great thing. Ask God, okay, what do I need to do to get over this?
That's right.
To move forward.
Show me my motivation.
Right.
Make clear my motivation to me.
Right.
Is it to put someone else down, or is it truly to heal the relationship?
Right.
I was deeply offended by someone who I loved very much, who was not related to me. And I prayed about it for over a year. And honestly, I never got the peace to address it with that person. God showed me that I was not going to change that person at all. And I had to just say, okay, I have got to get over this. I've got to forgive this and go on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, you know, I wrote here, like, forgiveness is a choice.
it is.
It's your choice.
Yeah,
He's given us that choice.
yeah.
He does command it in his word
He
to
does.
forgive 70 times 7. We've heard that, you know, how many times. Not that that's, you know, once you get to that number, you're
Right.
done. He was just saying we do it over and over, but it is a choice that is in our hands to make.
And it's not natural.
Oh, no.
No.
It's supernatural. Because
Yeah.
forgiving someone is not natural.
Because I like that song, He Loves Us, Oh How He Loves Us. And that line, I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about the way he loves us. And it's really the way he loves us that helps us to move forward in that whole forgiveness. I seriously don't like the way unforgiveness makes me feel. I don't like feeling that way.
Right.
So therefore, when I hear that, I don't have time to maintain these regrets, I really don't, because all it does is steal from me and leaves me a feeling that I can't stand.
Yeah, forgiveness, the way unforgiveness makes you feel is bitter.
Yeah. It takes root.
Yeah.
And there are a whole lot of things that grow from
Ugly.
that root. It's ugly.
It's
That's
so
right.
it becomes so ugly.
That's right.
And even probably bigger than what it even started out to be. And so even though we do hear that statement, it's more for me than them. Well, yeah.
It is.
It really is.
It
It really
is
is.
for you. And in that forgiveness, then the bitterness is released.
That's right.
And instead you can be full of peace and joy. And there's growth in it. There is growth in learning how to forgive.
Yes.
There is.
And when it just lays in there, that person that you can't forgive, there is nothing they can do that you
That's
consider
right.
right.
That's right.
You will
Yep.
criticize every living thing they do because you just, eventually, you just can't stand them.
I have always felt like that root that takes hold with unforgiveness is really worse than cancer because it doesn't kill you. It just eats you away inside.
Well, there are studies actually of what, when you let unforgiveness take hold, of what it even does to your health.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it affects your health. Unforgiveness.
Physical,
Yeah, physical.
mental,
Yeah.
spiritual, emotional, all of it.
And God knew that.
Yes.
God knew that. And that's why when we read his word, he says to forgive. And if we look at how many times he's forgiven us, oh my
And
goodness.
70 times 70 is,
70
Hot-
times 7.
or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever equals 490. That is just hypothetical. I
Right.
mean, there's
Yes.
never a pass for it. You're never done.
Right.
You're never
And
done.
thankfully, because I need forgiveness many times a day from him.
That's right.
If I'm wanting that from him, why am I struggling
Yeah.
to give that same thing?
Yeah.
Because he gives it so freely.
He does.
And then the great thing, and we've talked about this, is he forgets it.
He does.
He
He literally forgets it. He does not hold on to it.
And that's,
He does not proceed with caution.
no.
No.
Because what do they say? From as far as the east is
That's
from
right.
the west.
He forgives and loves with such abandon.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
such
just,
abandon.
I have this verse down here, Matthew 6:14-15 says, "For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." I don't know what else more you want from that.
That's right.
Exactly. So forgiveness is a hard thing. We're not saying it's not, but I will leave you with this word from Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offenses. And when we come back, we will have our guest for the day.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Breathe easier with oxygen from Dick's Home Care. Oxygen concentrators give you a continuous oxygen supply at home. Oxygen cylinders supply oxygen without power. And portable oxygen frees you to go. Dick's Home Care technicians will set your oxygen up and make sure you know how to use it. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Welcome back. We have a special guest with us today, and we have Halley Parson.
Yes.
And we're going to talk to you today about your testimony and how that kind of bleeds over into the workplace. But first, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, thank you, ladies, for having me. So my name is Halley Parson, and I'm a mom of 2 children, Jackson and Hadley.
Jackson.
you. You
Yeah.
know the Jackson. How old is your Jackson?
He's 11.
And how old is Hadley?
She's 8.
Okay.
Yes. So they keep us busy. My husband and I will be married 15 years this summer. So looking forward to that. Thank you. Yeah. And we're just active, busy family, raising kids and doing sports and all the things. So it's a little bit about me.
Well, first, you're just absolutely adorable. I know, you're so cute. So start by telling us a little bit about your testimony, and then you can just kind of segue into your job.
Sure, yeah. So my testimony, I've been walking with the Lord forever. So my mom actually went into labor with me at a church board meeting. So
That'll do it.
yeah. So I just feel like I've been, in the church my whole life and just following Jesus since then. So, but really, I was following him for myself. It was kind of more out of a selfish, God's got me and myself and our family. And he really expanded my view of him, transitioned me from one job to another. So that's what I wanted to share with you ladies.
I love it. He expanded your view of him. I love how you describe that.
Yes.
I cannot wait to hear. I cannot wait to hear.
Well, there's so much more to God. I mean, I think we know him, and then he just surprises us all the time. So if we have our ears to listen and we obey, I feel like that's what unlocks it. So during COVID, I grew up, I was a dental hygienist, I guess I'll start there, for 10 years. And that was sort of my choosing. I thought, I'm going to go into this career. I can help people. It's got good hours and I can be there for my family. But I really wrapped my identity in that. And kind of, it was more about me than helping other people, and kind of like the status of that, if that makes any sense. And I was the working mom, I prided myself on that. And I thought, well, when I'm with my kids, the time that I do have is more quality time, and justified the work that I did, And so during COVID, that was the first time I didn't work for about 6 weeks. And God just showed me so much in those 6 weeks of how much I was missing with them, how much time, just the little things of life. And I thought, oh man, Lord, I missed it. I'm so sorry, like repenting of working and having all my pride wrapped up in my job. And so I felt like the Lord told me to quit. During COVID.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
When that's what you have identified yourself as.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it took, I knew it was him though. I knew it was his voice, and I was like, oh Lord, okay. I just said okay. And I said to my husband, I said, Dan, God told me to quit. And he instantly said, okay, do it.
Wow.
And so that was sort of confirmation that we were on the same page. We're both hearing the Lord. And so I quit my job, and I thought I would be a stay-at-home mom. I thought, this is great. I'll take care of my kids. I'll just work at the church. We're involved with the youth and things there. And but then there's always more to God, right?
Yeah.
So after that, our pastor actually owns Pinnacle. Jim Kilmartin, and he had approached me and said, do you want to work a little part-time for Pinnacle? At the time, he was doing everything. He was running the church, he was running the business, he had no administrative help, and approached me with part-time hours, and I thought, that sounds great, because there was something inside of me that yearned to work still. I love the time with the kids, but there's something in me that is driven for that. And so agreed, talk with Dan again, and he said, sure, you can do that. And so God just really, he changed my identity to see myself as he saw me, doing what he saw me doing. So during that time of COVID, our family verse was Joshua 1:9, for have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, and the Lord will go with us. So we really held on to that through that transition, and just believed God that whatever was going to happen, he was in control of it. So shifted into working part-time. Then after COVID, the kids go back to school, and Jim said, you're doing great. Do you want to work full-time? And I thought, okay, check with my husband again. And so that led me into working full-time at Pinnacle. So our company is Pinnacle Cleaning Solutions here in Altoona. And really God's hand is just all over that business. And the way, you've heard what's the saying? Like God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And I've really seen Him do that with me through Pinnacle and just blow my mind. And sometimes I get imposter syndrome now as the general manager after, 5 years of working there. But He just reminds me that it's our yes, it's our faithfulness to Him and our obedience, and He does the rest. So
And He has done something pretty cool through you working there of just building into other people, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I never saw myself as a leader. I always saw myself as a servant, somebody that came alongside other people and not one that took the reins and had that D personality. But God showed me that He wanted to work through me in leading other people. And it's been such a blessing to raise up, from cleaning staff to supervisors, and just watch God work in me to care for them, to encourage them, to see their potential and raise them up.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And something so totally different than what you
Yes.
Yeah.
ever imagined for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from cleaning teeth, I was comfortable there. I loved that, But sometimes we got to get out of our comfort zone, right?
Oh, isn't that true?
Yeah, God, He knows exactly where we need to be, though.
He did. And just for the record, I was an X-ray tech for 14 years.
Yeah.
I'm a church secretary
Yeah, it's
for
great.
16 years.
Yeah.
Talk about
Totally different.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's so much joy, though, in knowing that. But yeah. Do I have time to share one story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course you do.
Talking about raising people up, so Kirsten, I do want to share her story. She was somebody who came on board with us as a cleaner. Actually, Jim and I had interviewed her, and at the time I wasn't strong in my skill set. I had to have Jim beside me, helping me interview and showing me the ropes. And so this was about 3 years ago. And she came into the interview very sheepish, full of anxiety. I could see it all over her. But I knew there was something God said, no, there's something in her, And so from that interview, we hired her. She was such a great cleaner, worked for us for about 1.5 years. And as Jim transitioned, I took more responsibility. I started to raise other people up. And I said to her, do you want to try the supervisor role? Which, a little bit more income for her and her family and a little more responsibility. But over the last year, I had seen so much growth in her. And she said yes. And so she became a supervisor at Pinnacle. And now, just last year, I promoted her to regional manager. And just to see the confidence in her,
that's awesome. Yes.
It's so cool. Like, that's what I love. Sure, the cleaning's great. We take care of businesses, we do that type of work. But for me, it's that connection with people. So that's
You're building into them more than just a job.
Yes.
That's
Right.
right.
More than just a
That's
job.
right.
Yeah.
And a lot of, I don't want to cover it like this, but a lot of worldly jobs, the bosses are more just about this is what needs to be done, this is where we need to go. But when we have someone that has a heart for God and is allowing Him to move in us, we can make such a difference in the people that are working under us.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many people do you have under you?
Yeah, so we have 2 regional managers, and then we have 3 supervisors, and then a cleaning staff of about 50
Oh, it's
cleaners.
that many?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, I had no idea it was that big.
Yeah, so we clean about 115 different facilities.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
6 different counties, so we're growing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Really cool.
That's amazing.
And I just love your heart for the
I do
people.
too. I do too.
It means
for the people.
Yeah.
The job's great,
Right.
but your heart for people is incredible.
And I think that's where God knew was like, okay, this is why I want you here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's just really
God sees a picture in ways that
yes.
we would never see for ourselves.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just our obedience to say yes,
Yes,
and listen to Him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So great.
So, such a beautiful story from Halley, and what I want you to glean from this is never be afraid to take that step to try something new. God will see it through, and there's so much more to the whole picture than just her saying yes. And when we come back, we will have your tip for the day.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Next time on Let's Talk About It, we will talk about God's love for us, and then later we will have Sean and Jackie Tice join us to talk about the organization God is My Dad.
Basically, God is My Dad is a ministry to help fatherless families, single moms, and grandparents raising grandkids. Those are the three things that we focus on. And we do it through spreading awareness about fatherlessness, helping people understand what's going on with it, because it's an epidemic in our nation. It's the #1 social issue going on in our country.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All that and more next time on Let's Talk About It.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Welcome back. Your tip for the day is something that I've had for about 3 years now when I started doing the Bible recap, and I kind of needed to have something to help me envision the journey. And I needed to be able to wrap my brain around where like Abraham traveled and how that equivalates to, it kind of all matters, and where the countries and where the world is today, all of that mattered. So I found this on Amazon. It's Then and Now Bible Maps. So the cool thing is, so here's the maps like back then, and then you just put the overlay on it and it shows you modern day. And it's the coolest thing ever. It is, I take it out, especially like in the Old Testament, it really does help to envision the lay of the land then, and what is, and it like takes you through like centuries of how the geographically things have changed, and it's just really interesting. And they also have some pages in here that tell you all the kings of Israel and all the kings of Judah and where they're found in the Bible. And it's just, for as thin as it is, it just has some really good information in it. I got it on Amazon, and again, it's Then and Now Bible Maps. I suggest you do that. It really does help in your Bible study. So try that out, and until next time, we'll see you again on Let's Talk About It.